So we are here on location at Crescent Club, Siesta Key. We've got Dr. Gary Kompo. Obviously, you probably heard the name before. Do want to take a second and say there is some traffic behind us, so we're going to do the best with the audio. I think we got it figured out, but we're excited to have you on the podcast. And like you said,
I'm real happy about young guys getting together and trying to build something new and get the word out in Sarasota, because it's a great place, and Siesta Key obviously is wonderful. So I'm happy to be here.
All right, thanks for the support.
So what? Obviously Sarasota is beautiful. Is that what brought you here? Was it mainly just the beaches, or what?
Well,
what landed you here?
It was a combination of everything. When I started out, I was born in New York, in Queens. I lived on the beach, and I always loved the water. I always wanted to be by the water. And as a result of that, a friend of mine went to the University of Miami, and I was a senior in high school. So he was a year older than me, so he was a freshman. So I went down to Miami, and I was supposed to stay a week, during spring. I think it was during Christmas break, and I think I stayed about a month, And
couldn't get out of
people thought I dropped out of school when I got back to high school, and I really liked it a lot, but I didn't like Miami too much, So during one of those school days, they come in and. Right. There was Harvard was there, and there was all these other Ivy League schools. College day, right? So in my high school, I went by and I saw this guy, a pretty cool-looking guy with a tan, and all that, and he was dressed up pretty casual, and he was the University of Tampa rep, and he was really laid back, and he says, "Hey, man, we're just, it's a good school, and it's got some good credentials. It's not at the Ivy League of the South, but, and I kind of like this style, and I like the idea of just going to school with flip-flops and all that type of stuff, So I just said, why not, and I wanted to be a big fish in a smaller pond, so I ended up down in Tampa. Now, Tampa was about maybe an hour, 40 minutes from Clearwater. I thought it was on the water. It is, but you can't go to the beach.
Right.
So when I was studying to be a doctor, pre-med there, and then I switched over because it got too expensive in the University of Tampa. I didn't have much money growing up, so I went to USF. And for various reasons, I switched my major to business too. So I had a biology minor and a business major, I guess. And my friends were all making a killing in the stock market. They were all young guys with suits and driving in Porsches and stuff like that. So I said, wait a minute, this sounds interesting, So I started a small job in Tampa, and there was an opening in Sarasota with this guy that actually passed away. He's a good friend of mine. He passed away too many years ago.
Who was it?
A guy named Bill Twyman. I don't know if you know the guy.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I called up. I said, listen, I've got this great guy. He's energetic. He wants to come down and work down there, and yada, yada, yada. And went on and on about this guy. And he goes, who is it? I said, me. So he said, come down and see me, because he turned out he was from Jersey, And he said, oh, yeah, he liked me right away. We got along right away. So he hired me. And then I came, so I was staying over on downtown Sarasota, which was nothing there. It was absolutely nothing. It was nothing.
Still not a whole lot, but
it's getting a lot better than it was, actually.
What year was this? Just so people have context.
That was in 1983. Wow. And the building's still there where I had my first office. It used to be, if you know where the old Ringling Hotel was, probably don't even know. There was a hotel there. Now it's called the Westin now.
Oh, the Westin.
So
we know the Westin.
Yeah, well, across the street from the Westin was a place where I was to work. But anyway, long story short, I came out to Siesta Key, and I looked at that beach, and I said, no, I'm not going anywhere else. And I moved out here in 83, and that was it. I never left except to go to, in 1990, I went to, decided I didn't like being a stockbroker anymore. I wanted to change a career, and I went to chiropractic school in Atlanta. So I left for 3.5 years and got back here in like 94. And never left since, and done very well, and loved the community, loved the beach, and
when you moved back here in '94, is that when you started building the Point of Rocks house, or when did you start that?
I didn't have any money then. I was broke. I just started. I got my chiropractic degree. I had my son Alex, and I had two other kids that had autism.
And Alex and I go way back.
You guys know Alex.
I used to pick Alex up at the house, drop my truck off, and drive his truck around and try to pick up chicks in the village. Did the circles, did the hot laps.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what gave onto the show, the Siesta Key show. That's kind of what was the
original idea.
Yeah, the original idea for that. But no, I got here, I was totally broke, and I had two kids with autism, and Alex, who was just a bigger pain in the ass than the other two. And long story short, I did well with what I was doing. I opened up a couple of offices, chiropractic offices, and then opened another office and another office, and that took off. And then I came up with the As Gary concept, and that really made me a lot of money. And Then my friends used to visit. Now when you start getting wealthy, you'll start seeing your friends from out of the woodwork come and visit
Especially
you.
when you live on the beach.
Distant relatives.
Right.
The
Distant
woodworks.
relatives I didn't know came down, and some I invited down, which they're still here. But long story short, no, I love my relatives and my family. So that's all what it's about. But when my friends came down, the college guys that I met from the University of Tampa, they came down, they go, man, this guy Alex has got it going on, man. This is like, you should make a reality show out of this. And I said, hey, maybe. I told another friend of mine, and he had a guy up in Jacksonville that used to make movies. And so he came down, and he just loved my house. He said, I can make a reality show out of your house. And I said, all right, well, what's it going to cost? So he said, it cost me about $150,000 to shoot this pilot, but I did it right. I mean, we had the infrared cameras, we had the boat scenes,
I remember that pilot.
Remember?
You showed me it in my office on your cell phone.
Everybody, couldn't believe it. They're like, oh yeah, that looks pretty cool.
It looks pretty cool, even on a phone.
Yeah, but 1 out of 6,000 people when they show their show gets picked for a reality show. So that was my first shot at it. We got it. And everybody started screaming and protesting. All the haters came out. For what reason, I have no idea.
Yeah.
They said it's going to be like South Beach. I said, no, it's not. You don't even know it. And it turned out to be a very good thing for Siesta.
Right.
Sarasota Siesta Key. There's no crime, tons of people, tons of Airbnb, tons of hotel stays, a lot of economy, and a lot of people liked it. So it had, to tell you the truth, it had the longest run in MTV history. It was longer than Laguna Beach, longer than the Hills, and in fact, they might still pick it up. I think it's off right now, but they don't have anything else. They'll probably pick it back up again.
Wow!
So that's something I did for this. Even though some people don't like some people do. So
Well, I mean, anything you
can't
do.
make everybody happy, right?
Yeah, anything you do is, there's going to be somebody upset, and that's another reason why we love, this podcast and kind of highlighting some of that, because you've seen so much growth, we've seen so much change, but there's still resistance towards that growth and still resistance towards that change.
Right. Well, there wouldn't be cell phones. There would be people still with the phone booths, which you can get one in the Crescent Club. That's when I bought the Crescent Club, they said, "Oh, he's gonna tear it down and all these bad things." I think the prior owner said that so she can get more business in there. Come and have a last drink before he tears it down. But obviously, I love the place. I call it my happy place because anybody who comes in here, they have a nice time. There's no fighting in here. There's nothing. It's an outdoor.
Well, it's a whole lot happier out here with the sun shining in and everything else.
That's what the problem was. The inside had the old style, kept the old, and I made the new. I only gave up 5 parking spaces up front to build another 100 seats out here.
It's a no-brainer.
And people love to see it. And now with the outside air conditioning we have, it's the coolest bar in town. I can
definitely tell you, it's pretty cool in here right now.
Right,
so.
it's the beginning of the summer, right? So even it's probably just about the warmest it's going to get in here. With maybe 100 people in here, it'll get a little warmer. But what you're hearing now are the trucks coming down.
We're that close to the road.
There's 3,000 trucks bringing in sand to renourish Turtle Beach.
Oh, wow.
And while we're here, we need to speak about opening Midnight Pass because it's a passion of mine.
Absolutely.
And they could open up the pass, taking the sand from the pass and put it on Turtle Beach for 1/10 the price they spend for 3,000 trucks coming in down, ruining our roads and danger and everything. They're doing a good job. I think they did it off season. And it's going really well down there.
But they could have dredged.
They could have dredged with that money and with less money, and we could add beautiful water flowing again through the pass like it used to be.
And God knows we don't need the truck traffic.
That's correct.
It's already bad enough.
Right.
For people who may not know about the whole Midnight Pass thing, I mean, this has been a long fight.
Well, I can expand on that.
Yeah,
I think it's worth it. Back in the 70s, there was a famous artist named Sid Solomon, and the pass was open, but it shifted a little bit, and the sand was coming off the beach, and he had built just a brand new home right on the water, and it was too close to the water. So him and another guy, Pasco Carter, I think his name was, and they got together and they said, well, we're going to close this pass and not tell anybody about it or do it. They did it illegally. And they bulldozed the pass shut, and that caused a tremendous amount of damage. They got away with it. And there was a group led by Bob Wechter, probably in the 80s to try. When I got here, I used to see these bumper stickers in 1983, open Midnight Pass now.
Right, let it flow.
Let it flow, right?
Yeah.
And you guys were kids, but I remember it saying, what's that about? And I really didn't get to see it much, And when they tried to open it, guys like Stephen King that liked it open because it gave, they wanted it closed, but now it's gotten so close that people are coming. Now it's getting it's so close now that people are driving up to his backyard. Now he doesn't like it anymore because he lost his privacy. So he's with us now, which is really good. And some other people that died now that were against it are all gone.
So Stephen King was that vocal about it?
Yeah, he was.
He lives on the north end of Siesta Key, right?
Yeah, which you can get to.
Which you can get to now, right?
Yeah, with a bicycle. I've been in his backyard. I said, "What are we doing here?" And he's got a gun, like a picture of a gun. Every guy doesn't want guns. He's got a picture of a gun, no trespass, and all this stuff.
It's got a picture of a gun. Wow.
Liberal. But long story short, the effects of that have decimated the bay. I mean, they say that it's like a place for like spawning of fish. There's nothing over there. It's all dead brown water, no seagrass, no manatee, no nothing. And now we got to go and burn gas to get out to the new pass or to Big Pass and take an hour and a half and burn all that fuel that's going into the water, and the pollution and the traffic and hurting the dolphins. When you can get out in 5 seconds and you have that water flush to bring the quality of the water back and get rid of the red tide.
Absolutely.
So we're on a big mission right now. The governor has a $1 million allowance for studying the opening of the pass on his desk right now, and we hope he'll sign that. So that's what's going on. So we're the Midnight Society, and then they passed to Society, I think, is a website. I'll get you the name. We should really we should interview them more, because this is very important, because the water, the bay life, the sea life, the water quality will vastly improve once that pass is open.
And is that basically the next step? Is he's got the research budget?
Yeah, we have to get the engineering done and everything else, because it was illegally closed. We're not really we're not making a pass. We're reopening a pass.
What was a pass, right?
Well, and that is a key thing, that we're trying to get water quality and reopen a pass that should have never been shut.
Yeah.
So that's where the Congress has to let it go, I think. And I think the governor, I know Vern Buchanan is 100% behind it. I've talked to him. And the governor says, I'm very interested in learning more. And he's about water quality. So I think we're going to have a successful time this time. I think
anything that can improve the water quality and lower that red tide.
That's correct. That's terrible.
Been brutal.
I've been hearing about this since I moved here 15 years ago.
Right.
And I think this time there's a real shot.
Oh, we're going to do it. No, we're going to do it.
What's an optimistic time frame for getting that done?
I would say it's going to take a year to get all the research done and all the forms and the Corps of Engineers and all this stuff. But I'm not really. There's a really good team that we put in place with smarter people than me. I'm just vocal about it, and I'm getting the word out that we really need support. And there'll be more fundraisers and stuff like that. We'll probably get on this podcast in the next few weeks or months and just keep that going. And maybe a fishing tournament they want to have, some fundraising ability to do it. But I don't think we're going to need much money. I think the groundswell is here, because we've seen the effects of the negative effects on the bay. So hopefully Moat Marine gets behind it. We don't know.
And I think that's something you guys got to reiterate too, that this isn't just a small issue for people who happen to live around this.
Right.
This is an issue for the whole bay.
That's correct.
So the whole area should really be concerned about this,
everything. Yeah.
The
If you flush out the water, the seagrass, the fish grow, the quality of the water, everything.
It's not just people trying to get their boats out of the
No, not at all. It's all about water quality. I mean, it's an added benefit, and actually, it's a good benefit, because you don't have to go down a long way and you don't have all the traffic. So
less pollution, like you said.
In the water, right? Exactly.
Well, I'm curious. We were talking about it before you sat down. I've never actually heard this called the South Siesta Village. Right now it's like I think you kind of coined that phrase. It seems like
this was always neglected. This south of the village district has been always neglected. And it's a quaint little place, a little older. Where the people want to go. They want to have some fine restaurants. They want to have a quality place to go listen to some entertainment and that type of thing. And that's what we're trying to provide. My hotel, if we ever get it built, and south of the Bridge District, would be much of a beautiful benefit, because my plan was to, like right now, it's the shoulder season. We could have, and I've talked, because I was a commissioner of the airport, we could have a 787 or two types of jets can fly directly from Heathrow, England, to here.
Oh wow!
Like EasyJet, and we have a international terminal. We can actually process.
And they're adding a few more terminals.
Yeah, they're adding a few more terminals, but we can process a whole plane in an hour. So imagine people coming from all over the world here now, because their vacations start now, and they want to come to Siesta Key. Right. In fact, the MTV movie Siesta Key is big in Europe. I mean, we get huge.
Really?
More so than almost the United States.
Wow.
So these people want to come here, but there's no places to stay. They want to come in a whole 200 people want to go to one place. They don't want to be spread out all over the place. So the tour companies would book every 2 weeks. There'd be another group of people coming right in here, coming down the village, eating, and they don't take any of their resources up. And what would that leave for us? We'd have a jet here. to go back to England. So if we want to get out of the heat, so we would take our vacations and go for $150 round trip to England, on that type of those type of junkets.
150 might be a little optimistic.
I'm telling you, with the way they're doing it,
maybe if we laugh up.
they got to go back. You see, they got to take them here. They can charge them a lot to get here, but we can go there and back. So they subsidize with a deadhead. They do that typically with cargo.
They're the ones that innovated that model.
Yeah.
Like Frontier and Spirit exists because EasyJet guy did it first.
Even if it was $500 to go to Europe, I mean,
that beats the
so
heck out of
these
where
are
it is
added
now.
benefits, and the capacity of the airport can handle it. And people, and what does that do? That keeps jobs here because people have to leave and go to Bahar, Maine. We have a lot of people leaving here. Seasonal workers, and they go to Bahar, Maine, and then they come back, and it's a big pain in the ass. But it's it, Gary, if we could work all year round and make good money in tips, we could do so. We got to fill the shoulder seasons now, which is like the June, July, August, September, October.
And that's Europe's holiday.
Yeah,
correct.
The summertime, July and August, Europe shuts down. The whole month of August, they take vacations that are like 5 and 6 weeks.
And your idea is to get them. Why not come here?
Why not come here? Then they go to Disney and whatever else.
They come to the Caribbean. They go to the
Caribbean.
Right?
I mean, they could be 1 week or 2 weeks
far.
out of their trip, and then they can go out eat from here. They can go anywhere they want to come back. So it's a good stop. It's
so one big thing would be airport access.
Yes.
What would the other big thing? Because if they fly into Tampa, it's a quick drive down. So let's say that's not an issue. What would the other issue?
The other thing was being Sarasota and Siesta Key, particularly, is staying at one spot. Like there's no hotels on Siesta Key. Who's going to hold 300 people? But my hotel could with 120 rooms. So stuff like that. And that's my hotel. The other hotel opens up. I mean, there's 3 hotels planned. They're all being held up in court by one person, which will name nameless.
What is the counter argument?
The cockroach, but anyway.
The cockroach. What is the counter argument to building this hotel? What's their side of it?
They're going to say that, it's over density of the key. The place is too jammed. Like one hotel's going to do it, 2 hotels going to do a difference here, I mean, we had 1 month where the traffic was bad in March. I mean, there's no traffic here at all, okay? Yeah. So I have a hotel here year-round, and they said, if a hurricane comes in. Well, hotels are usually built to hurricane standards, and they empty them first.
Usually
they don't take.
They
don't take. People hear the bad weather's coming. They don't go to a hotel. Let's go to the hotel on the beach. They don't. We close the hotel. And they evacuate a week before, 3 days before. So that's all those arguments are fall by the wayside. It's just
they're just faux arguments because people don't want change.
That's correct. They don't want change. That's right.
Naturally,
and unfortunately, this is a tourist town. It's the best beach in the world. We've been discovered already. If anything has caused the traffic to grow, it's the Airbnbs, which we don't get revenue from. There's no regulations. They got 8 people sitting on the parking their cars. That's why hotels are better than Airbnb in that regard.
You think maybe some roundabouts out here might help the traffic?
Well, they are going to. They plan on doing it. There's one being built out on Midnight Pass right here.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's another one being built in the middle of the.
What's your take on roundabouts? You big fan?
I don't mind. I don't mind them. But some old people might have a problem. But I'm getting old, so I mean, I'm getting old too.
We asked Tom, and he had a great answer. He had a twofold approach. He said, "Well, as a personal injury attorney, I love him. They can't figure him out." But yeah, it's
it's easy, and the sheriff knows this. And the sheriff is doing this during the hot spot town like March. It's very simple, and they've done this in big cities. You have 2 lanes coming in the morning. If you have 3 lanes, which is what you have here,
right?
You have 2 lanes coming in the morning and 1 lane going out. And if wherever the traffic is going on the way out from the beach, you have 2 lanes going out.
They have a 1 lane in the middle of flexes.
Right, flexes.
Okay, that
makes too much sense.
And you have about 10 cops for 2 hours or 3 hours here.
Yeah,
and that's it. And that's what they've done during 4th of July and some other places. And for the little bit of this of discomfort, the benefit of tax dollars, and we're not paying sales tax. Not paying state tax and all that stuff. It far outweighs the
inconvenience of 2 cops in a flex lane.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
That sounds like change, though.
That's what people don't want it. They don't want nothing.
It reminds me of the show Yellowstone. It's
funny.
I'm where progress ends.
It's funny with me is that I've been here 40 years. Okay, and I see the change. I think it's been good, most in general, right? These people come here 2-3 years ago, and they take their attitude and their politics, and they come here, and they I don't want nothing to change anymore because I'm here now. They pull up the ladder on the boat, and other people want to come here, and other people want to enjoy this place too. So you can't do that. So you have to have sustainable growth, and I agree. At certain points, some things don't make sense, but everything they say is no.
So the 3 hotels that are being held up in court right now. What's the biggest argument against them?
It's just that we violated. They said the county violated the code when they did the wrong thing, which they didn't. But they had one woke judge up there. They lost the first appeal. They lost the first court case up in Tallahassee. Then they went to appeal, and this judge who was a land planner or something agreed with this cockroach lady, and who I call her affectionately, so at that point, they stayed it, So now, but the governor has to affirm it, so we don't know what the governor is going to do with the cabinet. And there's a lot of legal stuff that I don't understand. But long and short of it, they're just delaying. They inevitably we're going to get the hotels here because we need them, and they're going to lose, and that's just what's going to have to happen because I'm not going to stop because I think I've got commercial land over here. They use the thing that you can't increase residential density. Well, a hotel, last time I looked, was a commercial building. I mean, you can't put it in a residential area. Yeah. We're not affecting the residential. I could put a very big and loud bar there, an alternative bar that they might not like with loud noise and music.
Nice quiet hotel. A nice quiet hotel.
I was going to call it the manhole.
You put some thought into this, huh?
Yeah.
What's so funny is as
it
we're
would
talking,
be worse, and it'd be less dense, and they would hate it way worse than a nice quiet hotel. When I have a hotel next door, I tell my friends, go stay at the hotel and come over and see me, what I mean? So I own the Captiva Hotel, and they thought I was going to knock that down too. So I don't know where people come with these theories.
This new hotel, does it have a name?
Not yet. We're just waiting. I'm not going to spend the money on architectural plans. I thought I was going to do that. Then they filed this appeal, and they stopped the people in the village, and they stopped the people in the middle of the town where the Wells Fargo Bank is. So everything's on hold right now.
Well, what's so funny is as we talk about this, I think back to maybe a little over a decade ago, I used to work for a moving company that the storage facility right there behind.
Yes, right.
It was a storage facility.
Yeah,
I mean, it's necessary everywhere.
That's part of the hotel.
So you're replacing something that forever it was a storage facility.
Nothing.
It's not really serving a very valuable purpose.
No.
Other than,
Well, I think it's just normal. If you look at the Sarasota Ringling Bridge, okay? They fought that for years. They said it was. Now they think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. The bridge that goes over the Bird Key.
Memories are short around here.
Right. All of a sudden, it's fantastic.
You put
it's
some
wonderful.
lights on it.
We had the drawbridge. You had to wait for an hour to get up the drawbridge. Imagine having a drawbridge here now.
Rough.
No.
Oh my
it's
God.
impossible.
No. Yes. Yeah.
So change is inevitable. All right. These guys we're trying to do the right thing around here. I live here. My kids live here. I want my grandkids to live here. I'm not trying to destroy this key. I bought this bar. They thought I was going to knock it down. It's a beautiful place. Everybody loves going here.
Now, when you bought this bar, is this your first bar you bought?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I never had a bar. I never wanted a bar. But when I was called up on this, I liked this place.
Never had a bar, never wanted a bar. Now I got a bar.
But I got a bar now.
Tell me about the first couple days when you opened.
Well, we didn't have the outside.
I'm talking about the free drinks.
You
bought a round for everybody.
What happened was the prior owner, I found out she was very stingy. I mean, she didn't do anything. I mean, she didn't put. I asked the employees. I said, "What would you want me to fix around here that needed fixing?" Because I'm sure she didn't do everything right, and I'm willing to spend some money. Well, they asked me, "Well, if you put some hooks underneath the bar, so we can hang our purse, that would be wonderful." I said, "Is that it?" That's all she. Oh no, I mean, it was dirty in there. The carpet was again. If you looked at it, the carpet was. Everything was just run down. So we just made a deep cleaning. They got rid of that dirty carpet where the sand fleas were in there. I put internet access underneath the bar where they can plug in because people want to sit there and drink. They want to have their phone with them.
Yeah.
So and not charge it. So we gave free plugs out. So then they go, well, they're not going to like you, Gary, because you're for some reason they love Julie, And I said, yeah. So the place is crowded. So I said, did Julie ever buy anybody a drink? Oh, she never bought anybody a drink. I said, buy the whole round of drinks. So I bought them a round of drinks, and they go, oh, thank you, it's from the new owner, And then about an hour later, I bought another round of drinks, And they go, we never liked her anyway. She never bought me. 20 years, she never bought me a drink,
There's that short-term memory again.
There you go, So now they're all loving me, and we have a lot of fun in here. And, we invite people to come down. We have the free hot dogs that she had for 30 years, and I kept that tradition alive. So every Saturday you come down here and get free hot dogs and a drink, And
that's why we're here.
But this outside is a game changer, and I don't remember who told me, but somebody said it was your wife's idea.
She did. She came out. She has creative ideas. She makes it pretty.
A lot of people don't know she had a creative career before.
Yes, she owns what's it called? So Stage Event Rentals. So she does all the parties for hotels and for weddings at the Ritz-Carlton. In fact, she's calling me right now. Hold on a second. Call her back. But yeah, she's came in here and she did a lot of stuff with the flower plants.
She does great events.
Yeah,
and, you
she
know,
does. Yeah, so
really
if you need a
impressive.
party planner, go to Sarasota Stage Event Planning.
But this outside's a game changer because you basically have two bars in here. You got
Yes.
the original Crescent Club.
And they
where-
don't bother, and they come out,
Right.
and all the old people don't like it, the old folks, the old timers, the old,
And you got the
old
dank-
school,
the old
and they
dank
come in
bar
here.
in there,
Another
right?
thing I did was have a locals card that the locals, because I had to raise the prices because they're just too low.
Had been raised for
but
40 years.
I didn't want to upset the locals, so I kept their prices the same, and I just did show you.
That's
cards.
awesome. Yeah.
Hey, Felipe, do you have a locals card?
My dad has told me to just tell them to give me the
I don't have a locals card.
Your name's on the list. Someone put your name on the list.
I have a digital card. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. So we put new service, and we got more cameras in here and stuff. So it's safe. It's
new servers. That's
and
one way of saying it.
We've got live music every day.
I'm a big live music
I'm trying to
guy.
get an exception so I can go to, because right now they shut down at 10 o'clock, and that's too early because everything
Yeah.
gets going. And it's funny, the laws here say that even a DJ, which I can play the jukebox out here after 10. So what's the difference if a DJ's out here after 10?
But DJs consider live music. is
They
what you're
consider
saying.
live music, so
Yeah.
we can't do that. So we're trying to get it to 11 during the week and 12 on the weekends, and that's the guy. They tried it in the Village till 2 in the morning, and they said no to that. But they said that the 12s on a weekend is it might be, So I got to go in front of the commission in front of that. So I'm sure the cockroach will be down there trying to stop and do that.
We'll have to look up who this person is afterwards.
Oh, I don't want to get super slammed.
So we talked a lot about the future plan. Well, things that are actually current, but going to get done in the future. But like big vision, big term, like 10 years from now, 5-10 years from now. What do you see like for the South Sarasota or South Siesta Key Village, the village over there?
Well, to dispel all the rumors that what's going to happen around here, not much, because there's only 5% of the land is commercial.
Yeah.
Of the whole key. All right. So what's here is here. Now, what you can do with it, you can maybe go up a little more, make it nicer. But as far as expanding it and all the fears around here that's going to get expanded like Miami Beach, it's impossible. Okay.
Right.
The only thing you can do is put condos, residential units on the water. Okay. And then
Higher up, too.
Yeah, and you can't because the density that would
Right.
make it more dense.
True.
So the cockroach claims, as far as true, that you can't raise residential density. We're talking about commercial
right.
use, and there's only a small section, and the price is so high for the commercial land now that there's no feasible way of building anything. So it's going to be limited, but you can make it nice, which is fine because the roads can only stand so much. But 3 hotels won't dent anything, okay? And the benefits far outweigh the little convenience. And in fact, I think when people if you go downtown, there's 10 hotels that went up. There's no traffic downtown. I mean, they park their cars. People go to hotels, they park their cars, and then they walk around, or they take
especially
their
if you're walking
bicycles.
distance
Or
from the beach.
another thing I did to alleviate this traffic is I started the Frog. If everybody knows the Frog
Yeah, the
around
Frog,
here,
yeah.
and it's built on zero tax dollars. I don't like the trolley. I'm going to disagree with the commissioners. I don't like the trolley because we pay $1 million or
Right.
so much a year, and that's not the problem. The trolley's not a bad idea, but the size of the trolley and how it stops, it causes its own traffic jams.
Yeah, it's a little inefficient.
It's inefficient. So if they were thinner, if they made the vehicles thinner and you can pass safely, okay, then that would be a good idea. But the big, you'll see these trolleys stop and there's a mile of traffic behind them when there's no traffic before.
I've been stopped behind it. I know that.
Stuff behind it, and that's the only problem with the trolley. But it has a good idea. But if you just got rid of the trolley, there would be more free people working for tips, and it wouldn't cost us anything, and it gives jobs.
Yeah.
And as long as they have insurance, what a lot of these guys don't. I have insurance on the Frogs. Okay. So it's and seatbelts and have it all safe. That's the way to do something.
Any of you guys ever been on the Frog Hop?
I have not.
Of course.
Fantastic. I actually have not.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good service.
It's a great system. It's tipping only. People love it, and they tip generously.
Yeah, they do.
'cause people love
And
to save right home.
the drivers love it. They can work
do.
when they want to work.
From
you're on the beach.
from a business standpoint, how do you make money off the advertisement on the
Well,
Frog?
no,
or?
not really. We do make some money on the advertising, but that just pays the vehicles expenses, the insurance, cleaning it. But the drivers get they get like 75% of the tips, 25%, and they got to pay for the gas and they got to clean it. The 25% goes in to pay the overhead. I don't think I pulled a paycheck out of there since I started it.
So that's
it cost me $75,000 for the first 2 vehicles, and then we've been able to buy vehicles cheaper, and with air conditioning, so that work. When I have my cousins and stuff fixing the the vehicles, when they're down. Then we have 5 or 6 vehicles. And
If anybody's curious where the name comes from, FROG is
an acronym
for friend of Gary.
The friends and relatives.
Friends and relatives of Gary.
Yeah, that's where I put my people that needed a job, and I didn't want to. And it doesn't cost me money to let them ride the thing.
A wise man once told me, if you don't take care of your people, who will?
Right.
Listen, there have been a lot of frog businesses that have turned into bigger things.
Right.
And listen, that's a great segue too, because a lot of people, I feel like, Dr. Gary, typical capitalist, right?
Yeah.
Hotel, making a ton of money. Buy this
Yeah,
place.
right.
Just
Raping the land
You're just trying
developer.
to, make a ton of money, but we know you're very charitable too, obviously.
Yeah,
and you
I've
spoke
done that
about
my
your two children that have autism.
Yeah, we've done.
So
I've
talk
spent
a little bit
of
about some of the charitable stuff you've been doing.
Oh, I couldn't. I used
Well,
to,
that's
I
the
used
thing.
to do
He
a lot
doesn't
more.
talk. He doesn't talk about it.
That's why I'm giving him
he doesn't do it for that reason.
Well, that's true. For many, many years, I gave, and I can tell you, there was a lot of money, and people said, "Gary, you got to tell about it." I said, "I don't need to tell people about that stuff." But they define you if you don't. You got to define yourself, and I never did that. I mean, I missed a lot of opportunities to define myself, and I didn't do it. But the last webpage they put all the different charities. I'm big on education. I'm big on for children, and minorities, because I think the best way to get out of poverty is education.
Of course, right.
And I don't think everybody should go to college. I think they should go to trade school. I think we should open a lot more trade schools. I mean, Trey here owns a plumbing company. He can't find work. Roofing company. And roofers, you need to be as a trade, and plumbers especially.
Absolutely.
You can't find a good tile layer anymore. You can't find trades.
The ones that I know they're slammed and they're making money hand over
but
fist.
you got to wait 6 months. You got, but you could have 10 times as many, and they'd still all make good money.
Yeah, right.
And we would have quality workers, but we don't have that because people are forced to go to college, and they just don't have the trades, and they don't like it. They want to work. You go to the civil service. All right, we got cops and firemen, okay, but we need tradespeople. I mean, electricians. I mean, the carpenters. And these are good, high-paying jobs if you train them. And we got the Sarasota Technology Schools, the beautiful place. SCTI.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer.
I think they have an HVAC school there, right, for air conditioning.
Yeah.
See, I really wish they had a roofing school there. Yeah.
Well, maybe start
Your little
one.
farm league. That would be great. That's a good point.
Maybe start one. There's just so many things we could do to make the economy better, and we're not doing them. But the COVID really put everybody in a different mindset. They want to sit home and get a paycheck from the government, and it's going to take a long time to get out of that. Now interest rates going up. They inflated the money to where it's not worth anything. A lot of things have to change. So it's a very bad situation right now.
So we're super grateful for the time and everything, and I know you guys are getting ready to open, but I wanted to, before we wrap up, basically 2 things. The first thing, anything we didn't cover that you'd want to cover?
I applaud you guys. Get the word out, because the media around here and the paper, I'm not going to say much about the paper, but about the paper, does not portray anything. If it bleeds, it reads. They go with that. If it's bad, they want to post it. But the good stuff and to stimulate economy and the young entrepreneurs, this is very much needed. I think you guys hit on something here, and if you just keep blowing this message up, you guys are going to do very well.
So along the same lines,
too.
Yeah, and along those same lines, we ask every guest, who would you like to see on the show? I know you already kind of talked about the Midnight Pass, people that are kind of responsible for that, but anybody that you think that we should definitely have on the show.
This is your chance to invite them.
Oh, I see.
Also, the idea is, a lot of people, when they think Sarasota, they don't often think dynamic entrepreneurs, philanthropists, people like that. They think old retired people.
Right. Well, that's changing though.
Which has changed. But there's lots of great stories. You just don't hear them.
If we can get some more big business to move down here to get the quality of labor here, like a lot of people from California coming here, the high tech sector, we could really do it well. I think
Miami's doing right now. Really.
I think DeSantis has got the right idea on as far as stimulating business here, and that's what we got to do in Sarasota. Visit Florida has to become visit and live in Sarasota. Let's get the big businesses here. Let's get the high tech, good paying jobs here. We've got the sun. We've got the low tax base. We just need the manpower.
We've got the education too. Florida schools are ranked number 1 now.
Right.
In higher education.
We're doing it. You know what I mean? As far as I know, maybe visit Florida. Maybe they can give you some insight.
Wow. Well, we're thinking more just like local people.
Yeah, but Visit Florida is based in Sarasota right here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They got an office here. I think she's retiring. forget her name off the top of my head. But long story short, check out Visit Florida, Visit Sarasota,
Okay.
and go through the government, go to the government agencies. Let's get some commissioners here.
Yeah.
Get some county commissioners,
Eric.
what they're doing.
Yeah,
They
Eric
don't know.
Arroyo.
See, people don't know what's happening, like the roundabouts.
Right. They just know what they read in the news.
You can get Mike Moran, who's a commissioner. They're all very bright, and they're very. They're very approachable. People think you can't talk to these commissioners, but you really can. You can talk to your House of Reps guys. You know what we're doing. Buchanan, James Buchanan is House of Rep for this area. There's senators here that there's a lot of good quality people that people think that they won't talk to you, and this is a great outlet for them. You know what I mean? And you got to show me where I can listen to this.
Well, we agree, and
it's just new, right? When did you start this?
Yeah, well, this is our 6th episode, maybe, and we haven't aired any of them yet. So they're all in the vault. Eric's editing them,
Perfect.
and we're waiting to launch.
I want to see them when you
We're
get
getting a lot of
I want to see
interest.
more.
We're filming one a week at least.
What do they be, an hour, a half hour? What are you trying to do?
right about this, 30, 45 minutes.
That's good,
just
because people don't
depends.
want to go too long. I mean, a half hour is probably good enough.
And we'll clip it up, you know.
Yeah, just get the boring parts out. Just keep it fun. Keep it lively,
Awesome.
But
Well,
I think good. Okay, well, good
thank you so much.
Awesome.
Dan. Appreciate you.
Hey, thanks a lot, Gary.
Hey, you're welcome.
Great
Thanks,
seeing you.
I appreciate it. Okay.